Scott, I'm fascinated to learn, does anything compare to this week leading up to the first game of the football season? It just strikes me that there are plates spinning all over the shop.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, Dan, to be fair. There is a lot of plates spinning, obviously. I don't know whether it's just the first game or that's just the way the season goes, really, in terms of the Championship. I think we've all been around the Champions season for a long time, so we understand the dynamics of that. So, and obviously being in here now for fourth week, there's still lots to do and lots to get across, but we're looking forward to the start of it now, obviously.
It's a strangeness of the system we've got, isn't it? That the transfer window goes for like 3 more weeks and the football season starts, and so what you're working with now might not be what you're working with in September. How difficult is it to prepare for the start of a season with the resources that might not be the resources that you've got for the rest of it?
It can be. There's obviously challenges with that, of course there is, because obviously you're a bit in the unknown in terms of goings and incomings, really. So, but look, I'm always one to probably just focus on the here and now and what there is, and the most important thing is a game, start of the season, a tough game against Luton, which we need to have full eyes and focus on, really. So while of course there's challenges when a transfer window is a little bit further down the line, there's been full focus on how we can go there and be the best version of ourselves at where we currently are to get a result, really.
We'll focus on the game in a second if we can, just on the sort of ins and outs situation. A couple of departures this week in Bastian going and Cherlinov going out on loan. You've made a signing as well of a goalkeeper. I think it's 37 squad numbers given out. Are you anticipating that squad will get whittled down a little bit more? Yeah,
probably. I think that's probably fair to say. Obviously, we do have a big squad. In saying that, at this present moment in time, every single player, new manager coming in, as in myself, every player has that opportunity to impress. So yeah, there's some players obviously what have departed, what needed to go and probably go and play some football, and that could be the case moving forward as well. But like I said, currently every player here we're managing. And obviously I've all got an opportunity to fight to get into that team and impress myself and do the job for themselves, really.
Etienne Green's come in, of course. Tell us a little bit about him and what you've identified in him as being sort of the right guy for you. So
it was an area where we brought in Gladkey as well, an area that obviously with Lawrence leaving the football club, that we needed to be competitive in that area, really. So he comes here up from France and obviously going to compete for the jersey and bring competition into that area, which is already pretty strong in terms of what we got. So I think it's probably a good move for him in terms of his development as well. And we're looking forward to working with him, really.
How hard is it to keep goalkeepers happy when there's only one spot?
Yeah, it's always a challenge. It's probably the challenge on the pitch, like you said, where there's only one spot for it, really. So, but like I said, you build a certain environment and a real good line of communication in that, then obviously that helps as well. These guys, what decide to go in goal from a young age and then become professionals in goal, they understand the dynamics of it as well, really. So probably very different to outfield players, like we said, where there's obviously a few positions that maybe one player can fill. But like I said, these keepers are used to it. And of course there's challenges because they all want to play. And that's my job to deal with that, or certainly handle that in the best way, right?
It'll inevitably lead to speculation, won't it? You've brought in 2 goalkeepers. You've already got goalkeeping personnel here. James Trafford has been linked with moves to places. Is that just an occupational hazard?
We've also lost 2. So we've lost 2 keepers. So it was certainly a position we needed to cover, really. So, that's the reason behind it. James Trafford is a fantastic keeper, one I admire immensely. Like always, I'm looking forward to working with him, really.
Just as far as the actual football is concerned, mercifully for everybody, is there anything like that first competitive game? I know pre-season games are often behind closed doors these days and they're a means to an end, but when you get out on that pitch at Kenilworth Road, walk into the dugout for the first time, is that something very unique? It
is very unique, yeah, and obviously I think there's any replication of a competitive game, really. Pre-season games, really, they give you a marker and they give you a barometer probably where you are a little bit, but there's nothing like a full house or fans in stadiums and the competitive edge which it brings in 3 points. You really get a real idea on probably where you are. While I have an idea, of course, pre-season games are about managing minutes and getting players up to speed. The jump there going into a competitive game is big, and hopefully we're ready, and we need to be ready really. So, but yeah, like I said, we're looking forward to that really.
Has it been hard to get the number of players that you're currently working with all up to speed?
Yeah, there's been some challenges. Of course, there is. When we've had to adapt certain things pre-season in terms of the game schedule and how we've managed to do that. Hence why we've probably not had many games where the fans have obviously been able to come and watch us, because we've had to adapt 2 games at the same time, 75 minutes, whatever it may be. We've had to do that really, and that comes with the numbers we've got and making sure that everyone's in a place, every single player's in a place that they're selectable come Monday night really.
If we're talking course and distance in this division, you've been there and done it. How do you look at the Championship this time round comparative to the previous occasions where you've gone up?
It's a tough league. I think you look at this division this year, and there's probably one of 10, 12 teams that are all going to want to be in and around playoffs, and maybe even more really. Teams that have been now in this division for their second season, obviously. And then the 3 teams coming down are always going to be hugely competitive really. It's probably very similar to my first season when I was at Fulham. The league was a very competitive league with Leeds, Brentford. These were West Brom. These were strong sides, and yeah, I probably see it quite similar this year in terms of that. Like always, I think I've said it many a time to everyone that no amount of talent really gets you out of this league, to be quite honest with you. While it helps, of course it does, for sure, it can be the difference maker in certain games and in certain moments. What is key is that for the amount of games you play and the turnaround of what's needed, you need to develop something far more as a team and as a group to get you over the line really. And that's been my main focus really in that sense. This is a team last year that have obviously been relegated and lost a lot of games, and that's no slight on Vincent, because I've been in exactly that same position in the Premier League, not winning a lot of games with the teams I had, but there's no denying in certain moments the most important thing here at this present moment in time is building that back up. We need to get to a point where we're a winning machine really, and we need to change that, or certainly change that mindset in certain instances.
Is that a hard thing to do, to go from maybe that underdog mentality to being favourites a lot of the time?
It's difficult if you don't get it right. Yeah, if you don't get the culture right and you look past the culture, you look past the environment you're trying to create, the freedom you're trying to give players, then yeah, it can be pretty difficult, because like I said, this league and in any walk of life really, this is not just about a name on a paper, just rocking out on a Saturday or a Wednesday night thinking you're going to win football. That just doesn't happen. There's something more deeper rooted as a core in a team and in individuals, what gets you over the line really. So they're my biggest challenges at the moment, while of course there's tactical elements, there's a style of play, there's a way that I want us to play, and that's an ongoing development. And after 4 weeks, we're hopefully moving in the right direction. The most important focus for me is exactly what I talk about. And I don't just talk about the players, I talk about the whole of the football club, whole of the fan base, everyone really. At this present moment in time, we're a little bit wounded from obviously the season last year, and yeah, we need to fix that really in that sense.
How much does it help you, being new to the club, to have players who've got out the Championship before, leaders, characters, experienced players like the ones you've got in there?
Yeah, it helps. Of course it does. That was 2 years ago. I'm always someone that, and certainly in football, you can't live on the past. Football moves far too quick, to be quite honest with you, and I think we've all seen that. It moves very, very quick. And 2 years ago, this team were a team that got promoted, done incredible, unbelievable achievement on how they did it as well. I think we lost 3 games. It was nothing short of fantastic in that sense. But yeah, I'm not one really to look too far back or take that as a real sight for me, because that was 2 years in football is a long time, and we need to make sure that we're the team I want us to be this year to obviously get us being successful, really.
And just quickly, an appreciation of Luton and what they've done and what they do. It's quite unusual that a relegated team gives a manager a new contract and says, go again.
Done an incredible job. Yeah, a fantastic job. And look, we see this firsthand last year. This is a difficult place to go. Top teams go there, certain way they play, aggressive, tight stadium. They cause you problems, really. And if ever there was a game to start the game where first and foremost we're going to have to be right up for a battle, this is a game, really. So Rob's done a great job there, give him a real fighting chance last year. This team will be under no illusions of what we face at the weekend. While saying that, we also have big quality, but what hopefully we can hurt them as well.
And this is the sort of question you can learn to expect from me. I heard Joby McAminoff talking about you this week and Burnley this week. And one of the big points that he made was that you might be changing your touchline fashion because you're in Burnley now. Is that true? And is that harsh on the fashion levels? I want
to try and set the trend here, to be fair. Let's get the guys in some of this stuff I get in. I'm sure it won't happen, but no, that probably won't be the case.
So if the club shop are watching, there will be a Scott Parker line coming soon.
I'm not sure about that.
Thank you. Good luck.
Cheers, pal.
Thanks, Dan. I don't think you've met Matt before. Matt.
No.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Scott.
How are you,
Mark, reporter from Burnley Express.
The fact that you got Luton away up first, do you like that? The fact that it is a really difficult challenge for the first game?
Yeah, it's it's an exciting one. Obviously, two teams coming out of the Premier League last year, so big challenge there. But for both sides, I'm sure Rob and the guys there are feeling the same, really. So, but it's a game, like I said, we're looking forward to, prepping for now, and looking forward to that.
How do you reflect on pre-season? Was you pleased with it? Did you get what you needed to get out of it?
Yeah, I mean, look, things have gone at 400 mile an hour at this present moment in time. We've been in here now, I think it's 4 weeks. We've had a good week away, albeit a bit later in, obviously, the pre-season scheduling, which was a very good week in the sense of getting the group together, brought everyone away, obviously injuries, and brought the group together, which was a very good week. Look, I'm sure any manager sitting in this position with any club after 6 weeks, you always want more time. Of course you do. But no, we've got some good work in us. Plenty more to do for sure, and I'll probably be saying that for many more months to come, really, and that's part of the development of a team, really. So, but yeah, we're okay.
What is the situation with injuries at the moment? Have you got many concerns for Monday?
Not many concerns, no. Obviously, we've got some long-term injuries who are on the right track in that sense. But other than that, it's pretty much a full squad for us to pick from, really. Yeah,
I think Aaron Ramsey and Nathan Redmond were two long-term from last season. How are they getting on in their recoveries?
They're doing well. Obviously, Aaron's is heading in the right direction. It's probably more of a long-term injury for Aaron, and that process for him will probably be a little bit longer. Nathan, the same, obviously comes off a bit of a long-term injury as well, but he's pushing and progressing in the right way. These boys are, the hardest thing about any player is when you're injured, really, all you want to do is play football. So challenging times for these boys, but everything I'm seeing in around the training ground and the way they're applying themselves, they're doing everything they can to speed that process up as quick as possible, really.
Yeah, obviously Zeki Hamdouni came late, obviously being in the Euros. What's his situation? How long will it take him to get up to speed?
Yeah, well, he's been in for a week. I mean, modern day footballers, they don't really get much break in that sense, and certainly Zeki fits right into that bracket. I think it was only 3-4 weeks ago he was playing competitive football in the Euros. So look, not too much work to go into him. We'll still analyse it over the coming days to see whether we feel that he's ready to go and take part in this game. But like I said, it's probably not too much for him.
Can I ask as well about Mike Trezor? I've not seen him around this summer. What's his situation? Yeah,
well, Mike at this present moment in time obviously had his problems injury wise and picked up something as well while away. So at this present moment in time, he's away from the club and he's getting treatment regarding that. Hopefully in the next weeks or so, we're hoping to see him back. But most important thing now is that we're getting into a fit place in terms of his health, and the problems he's had really.
You touched on transfers and outgoings before, but can fans expect to see some maybe, the first team players go, not just ones on the fringe of the squad, some of your top players?
I'm not sure really. I can't sit here and say no, definitely not. Like any club, any team that's been relegated, there's a lot of dynamics and a lot of components, and one being players and whether they want to be around, and obviously the other element is club wise what we may need to do or what we may not need to do. So yeah, we'll have to see how that pounds out in the coming weeks really.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Dan? Good that way first. This is Dan Barnes from Manchester.
Hey Dan.
Hi Scott. I guess one of the unique qualities of the Championship is how relentless the schedule can be. Getting those games coming thick and fast, getting the chance to kind of build some rhythm, is that something that you want to use to your advantage this season? Yeah,
definitely. It's something that obviously we want to try and hit the ground running for sure. And like you said, while it is a relentless league in terms of game after game and how difficult sometimes that can pose you, it gives you another opportunity the next time to obviously build momentum or certainly react from certain situations, what may happen in terms of games won or lost or drew. But for sure, we want to hit the ground running here and try and get off to a good start.
And obviously fans were delighted to see Lyle get on the score sheet in pre-season. What do you think he can bring to the team this season? Yeah,
I was as well really. He's worked really well pre-season, or certainly for the short time I've been in. I see Lyle's quality last year in the Premier League really, so I'm hoping for a really big season. This is someone who good character, cares, wants to work hard, still loads of improvements to have for his game as well. I can see that for sure, but has got the real qualities in terms of just his general demeanour and wanting to improve, which gives anyone a chance really. So hopefully a big year for Lyle.
And with Luca, obviously it's great to see him involved in pre-season again, but coming off a lengthy injury absence, is there a case of maybe just having to be a bit patient with him? Probably is, yeah, for sure. Obviously he's come off a long time out. Again, another player that excites us in that sense. Young player, still needs developing for sure, but has got some real outstanding qualities and attributes really, and no doubt will play a big part for us this year in a sense of how we're going to do really. Thank you.
Cheers. Man.